So, good morning. Um, so I watched Castle in the Sky last night with my daughter and also a friend, son. His name is Ryan, and Vivian and Kingsley also show up for part of the movie. Um, First reaction was that it was really interesting, given that this movie came out back in looks like 1986. Um, Anyways, film was stunning according to Leonard Maltin, a masterpiece of action filmmaking. Castle in the Sky is a timeless story of courage and friendship, with stunning animation from acclaimed Academy Award winning director Hayao Miyazaki. This high-flying adventure begins with Pazu, an engineer's apprentice, spies a young girl Shida floating down from the sky, held aloft by a glowing pendant. Both Shida and Pazu are searching for the legendary floating sky, Laputa, and they vow to travel there together to unravel the mystery of the luminous crystal. But their quest won't be easy, as soon as they're being pursued by greedy air pirates, the military, and secret government agents, who all seek the power Shida alone can control. I want to note that the music by Joe Saishi was just stunning. It was just so beautiful, even from the start going on. Loved the design from the airplanes, the creativity of it. Watching this movie and having Ryan and Stelly comment on it throughout the movie was just fun too. We start with this girl named Shida with the magical crystal, where it allows her to float, allows her to do all these magical spells, um, and then the Pasu, the hardworking, short little kid that's just pretty much fearless. Um, Throughout the movie, every time he jumps around a wall, climbs something, slides, or just kind of like basically just survives all these like momentous jumps and lifts. My daughter will be saying things like, "Oh, he's amazing at parkour. He's a king of parkour." And parkour is basically just like jumping around and doing all these amazing stunts. I think he'll be great at that. Now, this whole idea of Laputa made me think of just a theme in Hayao Miyazaki in terms of nature and his glorious powers. Um, I really love that scene where they met Uncle Palm and they asked Uncle Palm, Pasu and Shida asked Uncle Palm, "Aren't you lonely?" And Uncle Palm said something along the lines of, "You don't get lonely when you're surrounded by rocks that talks to you." And then there's a flicker moment where the rocks start shining, and you can see the magical side of a silent rock. That scene reminds me of a movie from Everywhere, Everyone, Everywhere, All at Once, where rocks were literally talking to each other, um, in their small voices. And as we listen to them, the earth speaks, and we can really see how it talks to us. I'm filming this today in nature, a little bit in my backyard, and obviously there's noises from people turning on the AC, but I can also hear the burst noise, and even the rocks to some degree. I can see kind of like nature speaking to me right now. So this whole power they get from in the crystal is called Ethereum, and Uncle Palm says something about we come from the earth, and from the earth we must return. And that line for me stood out to me throughout the movie, as we realize later on in the movie that Muska, the from the army, is also um, one of the Laputians. Um, that was a little twist. And throughout the movie, as you see the craziness of it, it makes you wonder what happens next, what's gonna happen. And then you learn about the robots and just how powerful they are. But they're just being controlled by the crystal to some degree. At the end of the day, people just want to have world peace. It seems like as they are just going through war, there's so much chaos going on. And when one of the robots died, my daughter was really sad by it, and she actually wanted to stop watching at that point because it's just so much graphics, so much violence going on at that point. But we kept on watching, and there was a scene where the robot, when they got to Laputa, and the robot was saving a few eggs, and that was just magical too. Just realizing how a robot was able to have humanistic characteristic as well. When they got to Laputa, they also saw some little foxes, and I believe they're the same fox from Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind. That was a nice gesture going on there. And I really love how Pasu and Cheetah sort of became pirates. That comical scene where they were cleaning the house and basically just being part of the pirates community. I really love that whole those scenes because they became part of the Dola gang. And at the end, they became family. And as the movie kind of came to an end, and they kind of like did all these amazing kind of like stunts, um, it seems like at the end they just want to go back to Gondola, like the place that Cheetah was from, and just live a simple life. And you can see the castle in the sky just floating away as it kind of like ended, becoming its own entity. All the treasures, all the gold that you have, at the end of the day, when you really think about it, um, there's a song that they didn't write the whole lyrics down, but Shida mentioned that you cannot live without love. I think a big part of this movie was about love, about the genuine relationship between Cheetah and Pazu and how they never give up on each other. The community aspect of the pirates and how they build it off with Cheetah and Pazu, that was just so beautiful as well. I was not expecting that at all. And all in all, it painted and the greed and just how backstabbing, the relationship between the military and Muska was. Um, all in all, I think I did enjoy the movie. It was not what I was expecting at all. It was something that really made me appreciate the animation, the genius, his storytelling of Hayao Miyazaki. Um, it was fun to watch because it reminded me of the simpler times, of a time when maybe it's just a simple relationship, simple camaraderie. Um, Albeit there was a lot of violence in this movie, a lot of war. It reminded me at times of Grave of the Fireflies, with all the destruction that was going on. But it wasn't sad in that sense to me. It was more comical in the sense of just how horrible war is. Um, but what really kind of kept me in touch was the relationship between Pasu and Shida. I felt like they could survive anything. Their strong base of connection. And at times, the movie was comical because they kind of defied gravity so many times. Like when they were on the airplanes, and coming out, gravity does not, or air pressure does not really like affect them at all. It seems like they were. It feels like they were on the ship in the water. That kind of feeling. Um, the amazing parkour from Pasu was just crazy. The way he was able to jump, and how bullets was just able to scratch them, and that's it. I don't know. Overall, all in all, I think this movie had a lot of good references, and if you start watching this movie first, you'll realize there's a lot of like themes, connections. As I keep watching all these Studio Ghibli movies, I just appreciate nature way more. Appreciate just the connection of how the roots, basically, of which is what nature is really all about. The roots, right? Once you take out the roots, everything will not be able to exist. And yeah, I know this was a longer video than normal, but I hope y'all like it. and enjoy this nature talk.